Hello, hello, friends. Good morning, good evening. This is Yonks with the DAO Hack, and it is Thursday. It is 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, and it is the weekly Board of Stewards meeting for the Employment Commons Opolis at opolis.co. And I'm going to hand it over to the Executive Steward, John Poller. Over to you, John.
Thanks, man. All right, welcome everybody. We're going to be kicking off into our community call here. We've got T minus just a couple of weeks until ETH Denver kicks off. I think it's, 2 weeks tomorrow that we actually do the hackathon kickoff. So Opolis is stoked about participating there. Just a little housekeeping on the format of these calls. So for clarification, there is a 7-member board of stewards that currently has the governance control of the community. All members, all employee members of the Commons, members of the Commons, we've got one Canadian, so he's not officially an employee member yet, but will be. And these individuals as members are making the decisions on behalf of the community until we get to 1,000 members. So at 1,000 members, we will transition decision-making and governance to the community and partnership with the board. I mean, there's a lot that we're doing as far as like trying to figure those things out. And so just stay tuned for that. In addition to the 7-member board of stewards, we have some folks from the trustee. That would be Eddie and Aaron and Ian, who are part of the trustee, who will be giving sort of a report in to the community on kind of our progress on various topics like product and technology, community, administrative back office, milestones, and other things that are interesting to the community. So with that, I'm just going to say welcome. If you happen to be in Denver, happy snow day. It's snowing yet again. And I'll kick off by passing the microphone to Eddie to give our trustee administrative update. Eddie.
Great. Hi, everyone. All right. So if anyone on the call ran payroll the last pay cycle, we did, or rather, sorry, the January 7th pay cycle, we initiated that token distribution, and you have until tomorrow to stake those tokens. So please log into your dashboard and go to where it says claim work. Double check that there aren't more if you've already done that, just in case, and then stake those tokens and earn more. So speaking of epochs and token distributions, we did in fact hit our expected 1.08 million payroll volume last pay cycle. That was last Friday. And that did result in the record 5 epochs. So we are now on epoch 21 as expected.
Wait,
so,
that's like a round of applause time. Okay, so like that's like groundbreaking stuff. So just to clarify, that's 5 epochs in one payroll cycle. 5. Yep. So which represents massive growth. So congratulations, community.
Congratulations. Exactly. All right. So now that growth needs to accelerate because the epoch threshold is changing from a set 50,000 in payroll volume to a 10% growth rate. So since we hit 1.08 million, that means we have to grow payroll volume now by 108,000 to reach the next epoch, or a total of 1.19 million in a single pay cycle. So February is looking decent. We've got 29 members staked and ready to go for February. However, most of them are, due to the timing and things, they will receive their first pay cycle, the second pay cycle of February. So that's when we can see if we're going to pass that epoch. Right now, looking at the upcoming pay cycle, it looks like we're slightly down actually, and that's just because of prorated pay and things, and that's expected. The second pay cycle of the month is always the bigger one. So more about that here in a couple weeks. And then lastly, W-2s were mailed last week, so they should be arriving in the mail. Some of you may already have those. And then an email is going out tomorrow with the electronic version of that, as well as a data export report that will include, if you remember, all of your invoices for the year for tax purposes. So look out for that. And that's the update.
All right, it looks like product and technology is next on the list. We're going to split it between two people. So now that my voice is back, I'm going to do the more product stuff. And Ian, our head of technology, is going to start doing more of the tech and tech hiring. So on the product front, we're continuing to focus heavily on a new payroll app to make it easier for people to pay crypto payroll and easier for Opolis to deal with crypto payroll as we start to scale and really have more and more people running their or funding their payroll in crypto. We're starting with two chains, obviously mainnet and then Polygon. But we've been hearing interest in other chains. So to kind of get the criteria for moving crypto payroll onto the chain of your choice, here's what we need to do that, or to seriously consider it. We need at least 5 members who will fund their payroll on that chain. We need that chain to be EVM compatible. We need that chain to support the graph and have subgraphs. And then we need a Gnosis safe to be supported on that network. If your favorite chain meets all of those criteria, we'd love to hear from you, since we really want to go where our members are and make paying your payroll as easy as possible for you. In terms of token stuff, just because Eddie mentioned the distributions that we did last week or last night, we've noticed today that Polygon is experiencing quite a bit of congestion again. So please be patient with the application. You might need to try and claim your payroll, a couple times, or might need to press the stake button a couple times. Unfortunately, Polygon has just gotten incredibly popular, and those pay to earn NFT games on Polygon are making the situation even worse for token stuff. But it usually does work if you can catch the chain at a slightly lower usage time when transactions are less likely to be dropped or come with crazy gas prices. Speaking of kind of congestion and being stretched a little bit, so the growth in membership has stretched the existing Opolis infrastructure to its limits. So it's a really good thing that we saw this day coming, even though it got there sooner than we expected, and we'll be switching to a new, better, more scalable infrastructure next week. So you might notice the app running a little bit faster, being a little bit more responsive. We're also testing a new core calculator, since that will provide us with kind of more flexibility and less fragility in the calculator and calculating payroll. And then we're moving on to building the bonus calculator and owner distribution calculators next week, since those are just simpler versions of what we call the core calculator. They're the same inputs, just fewer of them for each of those categories. And then I want to hand it over to Ian to talk a little bit about what's happening on the hiring front for the tech team.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Yeah, so we've already been seeing, the member growth's impact on technology a lot, as Bill said. Great problem to have. We did manage to do some fast upgrades over the last week, so apologies if you caught any of our brief downtimes, but we should be able to handle 2 to 10 times the traffic on the various infrastructure pieces now. And then next week, we're going over to a provider with even more flexibility and scalability. On the hiring front, we are working on job descriptions for some of these roles still, but the job description which is up right now is for a support engineer role. This is a hybrid role. It's customer facing, it's member facing. You will be member success oriented, but you will be able to use and grow your dev skill set. So this is definitely an entry-level junior role. If you know anybody or are yourself looking for your first dev role, it's a great foot in the door, and it has a great career path trajectory as well. We're also looking more generally for kind of mid-level devs that would consider themselves a bit of a Swiss Army knife, hopefully some React experience, hopefully some backend experience. We're not too picky about the background technologies. Right now, our existing application is Python Django, but we're migrating to a microservice architecture. The new calculator is in Go, for example. Of course, there's also a Web3 component. You can learn about subgraphs, crypto payroll, multi-chain transactions, all that fun stuff. So yeah, if you or if someone in your network is looking, please do reach out to us, jobs@opolis.co. I think that's all I got.
Thanks, Nina and Bill. So we're going to go community update with Aaron and Josh.
All right, thanks, John. I'll step in here. So just a quick community update. We really had massive growth with our last Bankless Blitz. And so we are definitely thinking around staffing to make sure that we are successful when we finish up that, come back and do that campaign again. So right now we're estimating 30 to 35 new members. We already have 25 members staked for February. But given that we'll have ETH Denver spillover in our second Bankless Blitz campaign in March, we estimate a huge growth of 80 new members for March and also in April with continued Bankless Blitz spillover. Just a quick update on the work piece. We have work token. We have 1,754 holders. Currently, the price is almost 7 cents. So I'm going to scroll down a bit. Thank you. All right, that's our piece for this week.
All right. So I will do founder update stuff. So we already talked about hiring Aaron last week. So we'll skip that. We've got a bunch of interesting things that we're working on. Product-wise, technology-wise, community-wise. So stay tuned for more of that. At this stage, you know, we're in full gear preparation for ETH Denver. So there will be an event. So this is probably as good as any time to announce this. So there will be an event. We'll have some sort of supplemental graphics or some just invitations to send out to members. So those that are members of the community will have a sort of special place in this particular event. It will happen on Tuesday, February 15th. And will happen at 1134 Broadway, which is just up the street from the Sports Castle. So the Sports Castle is the main event of ETH Denver, the main event venue. 1134 is a restaurant bar that's actually not in service right now. It's actually a space that can be reserved for private parties only. So it's one of the Biddle Week venues. So we're doing that Tuesday afternoon. So if you're in town, please be on the lookout for the Eventbrite that you can RSVP to. Space will be limited. And hors d'oeuvres, drinks, everything will be there. We'll have and even an opportunity for those in our ecosystem looking for work opportunities to connect with others in the Opolis Workforce Coalition that have work opportunities. So again, sort of reinforcing the community of communities aspect of Opolis. So there will be several projects there with job openings, sort of a happy hour job fair kind of thing. You know, we're sort of mixing and mingling a few different things. You can invite people that are not members of Opolis. So those that are curious or Opolis curious, you can absolutely come and participate. There will be a special space For members, however, just so you know, we will have a members only space and some additional kind of perks and activities happening specifically for existing membership. Sort of as an expression of gratitude from the community to you. But yeah, it'll be super fun. Like, it's Tuesday the 15th, so it's sort of like getting everybody's engines revved up for the main event that will start on the 18th. Well, it's really this evening of the 17th is when the opening ceremonies is for ETH Denver. So in any case, I guess that's all for that. And then we're still working on some of our DCA and sort of disclosure stuff. So we'll give that over to, we're working on the some of the other token related principles and constitutional stuff. So do you have any update for us this week? And if it's short and sweet, that's okay too.
Yeah, really exciting stuff happening on the policy side for Opolis and the Employment Commons. We're teaming up with the Blockchain Association for their input on some of the things that we've been working on for the Digital Communities Act, and then also a token exemption bill that we're preparing, and hopefully we'll be able to squeeze into this legislative session in Colorado. So Colorado has really been targeted or put on the map as a focus state for kind of really putting us on the map as the digital state, as the governor has also put in his mandate. And now I think there are a lot more eyes nationally in moving Colorado along as well with more community-based like think tank and brain power to help us move everything quicker. So super exciting. No real updates yet, only that we're hopefully going to wrap things up on the drafts by the end of this week or beginning of next. And also, if you have any prospective Opolis members that you'd like to introduce,
I was just going to shill. Yeah. Go ahead, yo.
During ETH Denver, we'll circulate a scheduling link for 15-minute IRL sessions on how to set up an LLC, which jurisdiction to choose, and things of that legal nature. I'll be around and setting aside time to speak with members.
Yeah, so one of the big features that will be available to prospective members at the ETH Denver week and BIDL week is that Yev and Jackie from their firm will be available to meet with people in these sort of micro consultations to kind of help orient folks on different aspects of, setting up new entities or just, potential legal concerns or whatever it might be. So this is a really big opportunity to work with some of the most, accomplished attorneys in the crypto space. And they're incredibly gracious and wonderful humans to be doing this, just as a community contribution. So obviously there's a lot of upside for them as well, but they're incredible stewards of the community. So thank you for that, Kev.
Our pleasure.
Okay, so with that, I guess we'll open the floor to any questions that might be out there.
So last week we did get a question about owner draws.
Okay.
Although I don't know the whole context of the question. I think it was Aaron who put it up. Is that something that we can do inside of the product, or is that something
like a K1, like a K1 distribution?
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently that can't be done within the product. You can accomplish an owner draw by just transferring money from your business bank account or wallet to your personal bank account or wallet. We are working on a solution that will put that inside of the product, just to provide people with a little bit of better tracking. So that was that's part of our calculator revamp.
Correct. So just for clarification there on what that is exactly. So when you're an S corporation, you can pay yourself a payroll, but then you don't necessarily have to pay yourself every dime that your corporation makes as far as revenue goes in your paycheck. So from an accounting perspective, it's our recommendation that you meet with a tax professional on this. We are also working on one of the community initiatives for this quarter is to build a community of crypto-friendly CPAs that we can refer our community members to, or that you can access in Discord and other places. To answer these questions with, as formal financial advice, but just for informational purposes here, the money that sits in the S corp after you pay your payroll, what's the tax treatment? How do I deal with that? So an owner distribution or an owner draw or a K1 distribution, as they're called, would be a non-payroll distribution to the owner, you. It's taxed slightly differently. So it's not subject to certain payroll taxes and whatnot. So there are some rules and guidelines and best practices around that. So again, we can sort of give you the high level of what best practices are, but as far as official financial advice, we'll have to pass you to a certified public accountant to do that. And there are some resources that we have that can be supportive in that effort. So the idea would be, and what the question is how do we do that from the member dashboard? Is there a way that my entity can do an owner draw payment to me, right, and have it be taxed as the owner draw, not as the traditional payroll, or just processing that payment. And as Bill alluded to, we are working on a solution for that would integrate that component of your small business life into the product, but it's not officially part of the product at this stage, but it's coming. All right, any other questions about that or clarifications needed? All right, well, reach out to your friendly neighborhood Board of Stewards member in Discord. Don't forget to participate in conversations or ask questions there. Add tickets, refer friends, whatever it might be. We've got a big, bright, shiny future in front of us, given the growth and progress the community's made. It's been quite remarkable to watch it to this stage. I mean, just personally having seen this from just an idea to what it is today, with hundreds of members all over the country that are, very passionate about this future of the self-sovereign worker. It's been quite remarkable. That doesn't mean we don't have a lot of work to do. So we got to keep biddling. We got to keep referring. We got to keep bringing our friends in. There's obviously, rising tide raises all boats benefit to doing so. So you're the benefactor. It's not making any third party intermediary wealthy. It's just, it's the community enriching the community. So make it happen, make your referrals, and be on the lookout for more incentives and other activities that are coming down the pipe in Q1. And we'll look forward to seeing you at ETH Denver. We'll have one more community call next week. We might do one before the kickoff of ETH Denver, but we'll announce that in the Discord and whether or not we keep that on track. So let me know. And let us know. Connect with us. Talk to us. Engage. Look forward to seeing everybody in Discord and around Twitter, wherever else. Thanks a bunch for coming. Take care.